This is Maz Amjad, and you are watching my channel 15 Minutes with Maz. This channel is aimed to help you and guide you how you can come to United States and how you can find scholarships and funding opportunities to study and work here in the United States. Today we have another guest, and we will ask some questions so that we can learn from his experience. How did he apply and come to United States? So thank you so much once again for joining me today here, and I will request you to introduce yourself so that we can begin our conversation.
Thank you, Mas. This is Saddam. I'm pursuing a PhD in petroleum engineering at University of Texas at Austin. Prior to that, I was working in oil and gas industry in Pakistan. I had almost 10 years of experience in oil and gas industry. Before coming to UT for PhD, I also completed my master's in petroleum engineering, University of Oklahoma, through Fulbright Scholarship.
Okay, so can you please tell us more about your experience for applying as a Fulbright scholar from Pakistan? Where did you know that opportunity? What was the admission process? How much did you pay for that? Because there are many people who do not know whether uh, you need any financial support to apply for a Fulbright scholarship. So what was the whole process, and then what was the motivation behind applying to US and specifically come to Oklahoma as a Fulbright scholar?
So, first of all, the Fulbright Scholarship is a fully funded scholarship, and it's one of the prestigious scholarship funded by US Department of State. And there is no fees. You have to pay nothing for Fulbright to apply for Fulbright. And in Pakistan, they announce it through newspaper and through their website. So you can visit the United States Educational Foundation Pakistan website, and then they announce once in a year the Fulbright program. They will ask you for the admission process, which will usually begin in fall every year. So the process of Fulbright starts usually at the start of the year in February or January. You can submit your application. So you have to pay nothing for the application, but there are certain requirements for the application, such as GRE. You have to have a GRE score, a GRE exam. You have to give GRE. In Pakistan, there are there are too many institutions available where from you can prepare for GRE, and then you can go and give your exam. And another thing is TOEFL, which is a English language requirement test. So you have to give your TOEFL exam, but that is after your application. But for the application, you only require GRE, and apart from GRE, you also require two essays. One is the personal statement, and other is your study objectives. So you have to have these two essays to be part of your application for Fulbright. And then after you submit your application, they evaluate your application, and then based on your credentials, based on your essays, and based on your GRE score, they evaluate you as a candidate, as a principal candidate, and then after that, they invite you for the interview. And then in interview, you have there is a panel, there's a group of panel, like from variety of areas. Like one of them will be from your field, maybe from energy, from agriculture, from economics, and then there are few people from the embassy as well. So they ask you a few questions regarding your application, regarding your short-term goals, your long-term goals, what you will be doing when you will when you will come back to Pakistan. So these kind of questions they will ask you, and then based on their assessment, they will make you a principal candidate to get the Fulbright scholarship. So after interview and getting the Fulbright scholarship, your admission process starts, and then they send your profile to different to number of schools that you desire to be in, such as like I decided to go to University of Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Colorado School of Mines. These were my desired schools. So they send your application, your profile to these universities, and then based on your profile, the universities give you the admission, and then they send you in one of the desired school for your masters or for your PhD.
Okay, great. So, what was the GRE score requirements as well as for the TOEFL score? Because typically, there is an IBT in TOEFL and then also in GRE. So, what was the score limitation specifically for GRE and TOEFL?
So for GRE, the score scale is start from 280 to 340. So, but there is no certain criteria for Fulbright. Uh, but but the good thing is like it's they evaluate the whole profile. Like they evaluate your bachelor's GPA if you're going for masters. They evaluate your research credentials if you have done some research. You have published some research papers in your area. The number of years of experience you have. Like in my domain, I had around 6 to 7 years of experience when I was applying for Fulbright. So that is another good thing. Another thing is what are your program of study? Like my program of study was petroleum engineering, which comes under the energy segment. So that is one of the priority department, a priority area for the Fulbright. There where they want too many people or so many people to come and work or study in the area of energy, so that they come when they come back to Pakistan, they can serve in the Department of Energy, so they can work in different areas which are related to energy, like power generation, like solar, like anything related to that. So for GRE, particularly the score, like as much as the score you get, it's gonna impact your profile. So like for my case, I had around 310 score. The breakup of score was, if I remember, was around 155 for 155 for quant, and around 150 to 155 was for verbal. So there are two segments for GRE. One is the quant section, which is the which has mathematics in it, and then another segment is verbal, which has English in it. So they evaluate your English and they evaluate your math, so that they can judge you based on your score, that how much you are prepared to be enrolled in a grade school.
Great, great. Can you just please walk us through
Mm.
step by step? How did you begin your Fulbright scholarship process?
So the first step is to take the decision that you are actually prepared to go for a grade school. So that's the first step. Like then you can decide, okay, you want to go or you want to choose Fulbright, because for Fulbright you have to the requirement is to complete your degree and then come back to your home country for the amount of years you have spent in US. Like for Fulbright, if you are coming from Pakistan, you have to go back to Pakistan and then you have to fulfill the residency requirement for 2 years, and then you are eligible to come to United States again for any kind of visa or any kind of like work permit, for immigration, or for anything. So that's the first step. For Fulbright in Pakistan, they give you for around 2.5 months to actually submit your application. Like usually they announce in February or in March every year. They publish advertisement in newspaper, in various like famous newspaper like Dawn or some other newspaper, and you can find the advertisement on their website as well. So as I mentioned earlier, there are certain requirements. So once you kind of sign up for the application, you will see there are like a lot of requirements. Like you have to fill the whole form of the application, and then there will be certain attachments required, like your degrees, like your essays, as I mentioned, your GRE and your TOEFL as well. If you don't have GRE prior to start for application, you can actually sign up or get registered yourself for the GRE, and then you can show up for GRE later on. But you can actually have to give them a proof that you are enrolled for GRE or registered for GRE, and then you will submit your score later on. But before your interview, your GRE, oh sorry, your Fulbright interview. The third important step is to write down your essays for Fulbright. So that's the most, I guess, the trickiest part and the most time consuming part, because these essays are not very straightforward essays that you can write down in one day.
I have a question here. So like now we have a ChatGPT era. Like there are so many like ChatGPT and AI written websites where you can just go and say, "Hey, I want to go to United States on a Fulbright scholarship. Can you write me a personal essay?" What would you recommend on all the reviewers, specifically who are interested in coming to United States Fulbright Scholarship? I mean, of course, I mean you can. I mean, in my opinion, you can certainly seek help from all those technologies, but in my opinion, I think it's very challenging to personalize your statement using those technologies. So for example, if you have your own personal circumstances that you really want to highlight in your essay, for example, if you had any family issues and then there was a setback and then you decided, oh, I really want to pursue higher education abroad, that shows that you are very committed and you are very responsible and then you have resilience in your personality. You are a fighter, you really want to continue to study and then of course have a better life. But if you just simply ask ChatGPT to write a personal letter, I don't think ChatGPT would know what are your circumstances, what are your like the background and all that. What is your insight and what would you suggest specifically to reviewers on that?
That's a really good question, I guess, because most of the people right now they are using these AI tools to actually write down some kind of things that they are beneficial to them. But for this, like particularly for GRE or for any kind of grade school application, I would suggest you to write down your own essays in your own language rather than using ChatGPT. You can use it to get an opinion or to get a feedback, like how an AI tool is thinking about like how to write a SOP, how to write a statement of purpose or personal statement for Fulbright. They can give you some kind of highlight or in a or an opinion about like how to write an essay. But but personally speaking, it's not a good idea to actually use those AI driven or ChatGPT written SOP for your application. I would never suggest anyone to actually use those applications because once you submit your application, it's gonna go through a scrutiny process. They're gonna plagiarize your whole application and then they will check how much you have copied it from anywhere. Like they have all the systems available and then they will you can get caught catch easy. They will catch you easily.
The other point came to my mind is that many good scholars they try to build a narrative in a story compelling story format so you can really understand and then you can see the sentiments in your words, so your each word should speak itself without telling anyone what you are really trying to say.
Another important part is like word count. You have to be very careful that you write down your whole story in that word count. For Fulbright, I don't remember exactly, but they ask you for around 500 to 750 words for single essay. Like there are two essays, one is personal statement, another is study objectives. So both essays should comprised of around 500 to 750 words, maximum 750 words, as I remember. So so once you write down your essay, and you have sent it to anyone who has already proofreaded it. So for my case, I sent it to my one of my mentor who was a Fulbright scholar as well. Uh, he proofread my SOP and then he sent it me back and then I improved it and then I submitted. So there are two essays. One is personal statement and another is study objectives. Both of the essays are different than each other. The personal statement is more about your personality. It should include like what motivated you to 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 continue your education, like what motivated you to actually start your education. So when you say like when I was a child, my father was like doing some hard work in some area. So your parents and your family members are the most ones who motivated you for education. So your circumstances better than me. So you can write down your personality things accordingly. Another thing is like what motivated you to actually start your grade school now. Like for me, I finished my bachelor's in 2012, and then after 7 years, or you can say 8 years, I wanted to start go for grade school. So that's a pretty much like a huge amount of time when you are like when you are when you are in industry, you are earning something. Why you want to leave your job and go for grad school? So there should be some motivation, and there should be something that has encouraged you to go for grad school. So these kind of things that they wanna see, they wanna evaluate as a person, and then they judge your personality based on those things. Another is the second one is about the study objectives. That is more about your research, your previous research, your previous academics, and then your future research, future academics, and then your short-term goals, your long-term goals, your social part will be included in the personal statement, but more about your research, your academics, and your short and long-term goals, and then what impact those research or those academics are gonna create when you will come back to Pakistan.
So, what is the timeline when typically Fulbright scholarship is often advertised in local newspapers? So, so that the people they would know exactly when they should look for that specific Fulbright in the local newspaper.
So they usually announce in February or in March. So I would suggest to actually look for it. But I guess this year they announced in January. So uh, you can easily find like you start searching for it from January to March. So if they announce in January, you will have the deadline till March or April. So you will have ample amount of time to actually prepare for yourself to submit your application for Fulbright.
Okay, great. Thank you. So can you just summarize again from starting from first point to the last point until the applicant should submit the application?
Okay. So the first point is actually decide yourself. Like think about it that actually you wanna go for grad school. It's like not a fun time that you are doing and just for fun. Actually decide it that you actually prepare you and prepare yourself for the grad school. And the second step is to actually see for the Fulbright announcement for masters and PhD program. So they announced in newspaper this year, I guess in 2024, they announced in January. So you can find in January, February, somewhere in those months. So you will find the advertisement, and they give you the link to actually submit your application. So you can go to that link, create your account, and then you will see all the application requirements on the portal. And the second step is to actually see the requirement. First one is GRE, TOEFL, essays, letter of recommendation. So you and divide your time, like you say you have 3 months. So you have to prepare for GRE, you have to write your essays, you have to talk to your professors for letter of recommendation. So it's not easy to do everything in like, so you have to do everything in parallel. Like first point is start your preparation for GRE, register yourself for GRE. The fees is I guess around 200 to $250. So you can register yourself for GRE and then start preparing for it. And then meanwhile start writing your essays. And then once you finish your essays, you send it to someone who is already a Fulbright scholar. That would be good. If you don't know anyone that who is a Fulbright scholar, just send it to someone who is already studying uh, in United States or in other country for his master's or for PhD. He can easily proofread your essay, and then he will can give you a good feedback about like how to improve your essays. And then third thing is the letter of recommendation. I would suggest you to write it down your own self rather than give it to your professor, because he will write in his own ideas. So you write in own way, include your academics, include your research, include some part of your social activities as well, like you join some club, so you should mention it, and then professor should actually sign it. So there are two ways to actually submit the letter of recommendation. One is the electronic way and one is the paper way. So electronic way is one is that way you actually write down your email of the professor in the form, and then they will send the recommendation letter email to that particular professor, and then he will write it down. So, and another way is that like get it get it done by like a letterhead on a letterhead by the university, and then your professor should sign it, and then you can scan it and upload it on the Fulbright portal. So after that, once you finish your preparation for GRE, give you a GRE at least a few days before your submission deadline, and then so that you can have a good idea about your GRE score. Oh, God forbid if your GRE score is low, like you say is 300, and then you are going for an engineering program, and then you require a high GRE score so that you can prepare yourself again and appear for GRE another next step. But you for initial assessment, you actually have a GRE score so that the requirement is fulfilled.
Just to make sure we have understood correctly. So the Fulbright scholarship ad is typically advertised in between January till March. And what is the deadline for submitting all those documents?
So they give you around 2 to 3 months to actually prepare your application and submit it. So it's you that you have to break down your activities like in such a way that you complete all the requirements within the deadline. I actually don't remember, but it's like 2.5 months of deadline period. So you can prepare yourself, your essays, GRE, and everything, and then submit your application within due time.
Great. So once the documents are submitted on a Fulbright portal, then the candidate should relax and pray.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So they can once you submit your application, they will send you a confirmation email. Okay, your application has been submitted, and then the next step will be you can actually wait for some time, and they will send you the invite for interview. If you are selected for till like for the next phase, the next phase is for the Fulbright interview. And then if you are not selected, they will send you a rejection email. So I would suggest you that don't be like discouraged or don't be get like demotivated by that rejection email. So you there is that's not the end of the world. You can apply directly for the grade school to in any country like in UK or in US wherever. So you have all the things ready, so you can apply anywhere for another scholarship. So I would suggest you that preparing for GRE, preparing for Fulbright, it gives you a bunch of opportunities to actually apply for like many other scholarships. Like there are many other scholarships like Chevening, like Erasmus Mundus. So you actually apply for like you prepare for a bunch of scholarship opportunities.
Great. We thank you so much once again for giving us your time today. We really appreciate your time and especially your kindness in sharing all your experiences and insights. If you have any question regarding studying as a Fulbright Master's program in the United States, please feel free to comment below. Or if you have any specific question, please let me know. Just feel free to comment and we will do our best to respond to your questions or make another video that should discuss and address specifically that point. Thank you so much.